Welcome to episode 9 in my Workspace Redesign series. In this episode, I would like to show you how I sketched the floor plan of my future workspace. This is one of the first sketches of my floor plan. It doesn't have to be perfect and it doesn't have to be the final layout. It just has to be a start. And be aware that I'm trying to comment over a video of me sketching. It might not be the most logical and well-structured way to do this, but this is how I did it, and I'm trying to explain it to people who might be looking into doing this for the very first time. And the location I want to start with is Zone A, my table area. Every workspace is different, and it really depends a lot on the kind of work that you do, the kind of person that you are, and the kind of space you have available. Some people put their laptops on their knees, and that's their workspace for the next couple of hours. People who work in sales might spend a lot of time on their phone. That's their workspace. While perhaps those working in finance might still need a lot of storage for paper. Every workspace is different, and how each individual wants to work is eventually different. So the first thing I want to do is think about how I want to work. And the way I like to work is with a lot of open space around me. I like a big table, or possibly multiple tables, on which to lay out sketch paper, notebooks, books, gadgets, trinkets, tools, unnecessary things, lots of items. So this is why I think that besides the table in the middle, I would also like to expand my work surface area with another very narrow, well-mounted table behind me. And when I say narrow, I mean about 50 centimeters, which is below 60 centimeters, which is kind of the average width for a work desk. This could be a narrow, wall-mounted table or the countertop of a storage area, perhaps cabinets. And I like having so much work surface that I'm also going to add a 60 centimeter table on the wall beside it. Now that I have drawn my wall-mounted table, I am checking to see if there is enough space left between it and the table in the middle to have a chair sit comfortably between them. And I can now see that I have about 80 to 90 centimeters of space if my table is positioned here. And by here, I mean in front of the door, but on the side that is not really mobile. I don't often open this side. I am not blocking the door opening, and I'm only using the left side of the door so I can come in and out of the room comfortably. I can still open both doors, but generally to come into the room, I'm only using the left side. An office chair is typically drawn as a box of about 45 by 45 centimeters. It's good to draw it on the floor plan just to be sure that it fits. It often helps to sketch a little person on the floor plan to have a better understanding of how the architecture relates to the human and how a human being could fit within the proposed layout. And I drew a tiny human figure here with the hands stretched out on a separate layer so I can move it around the room and see how this layout would relate to a human being. Is there enough space for a person to sit comfortably or not? And so far it looks fine to me. It often helps to have a human figure on the plan to understand better what is happening. I am particularly concerned about the length left for the side table, but a 60 by 90 centimeters table is quite enough for a human being to work comfortably at. I might do the side table at a lower height than the long table, or if I delete the edge between them, it means they are at the same height, or if I draw the edge here, it means my side table is higher than the long table, and that might in fact expand the work surface, so I'd have more storage area in that corner. Over my work surface, I imagine a pegboard or perhaps a pin board, a place where I can pin ideas or tools. It could be something fun like that, and I draw it as a line along my wall-mounted tables. Sometimes it's good to make some notes about what is it that you are drawing, just in case you leave your sketch, you go do another project, and you come back again. It helps you refresh your memories. Also, another reason why I'm doing this side table is that I'm thinking it could be a good place for a wall-mounted screen for the situations where I do need to work on a bigger surface. Generally, I do use my laptop, but on occasion, it would be nice to have a bigger screen. Above the pegboard, I think some shelves would be a nice addition. Right now, I'm making them the width of the pillar, which is about 21 centimeters, but I think that it might be a little bit too narrow. I'm leaving Zone A for now and moving to Zone B. There is a small niche in the wall, and I think this could be a perfect place for a tiny wall cabinet on which to put a lamp, or perhaps it has a drawer in which I can charge my phone, or perhaps it's a place to store a blanket. But what I'm trying to achieve with this small cabinet is to help unify this back surface here so I can have a straight area from the pillar all the way to my windows against which I can lean if I have a couch or perhaps a bed there. This daybed area is not that clear to me yet what it's going to be, whether it's a couch, a bed, a really long bench. I'm not really sure how this is going to look. But I'm going to use the bed surface area that I drew in episode 8 as a guide. And I'm just going to make the layer a little bit lighter and more transparent so it's not as visible. And then I'm going to draw a big cozy couch with an attached but mobile poof at the end of it, just to kind of mark this area where I would like to have a cozy reading corner. I think it could be a cozy couch with an attached but mobile poof at the end, or it might be a really big white bench over this area. I can't really know for sure at the moment what it's going to be. I need to look at this in more details, but this is what I'd like to see for now. The design process is a process of taking small risks, small decisions in one direction and slowly seeing if this actually pans out into something you want to do. If not, you can always go back to the drawing board and try something else. For now, I just draw a really wide couch and I make sure to kind of separate the mobile stool from the couch itself. In the Zone C, I would like to add a custom, very narrow cabinet that could hide my internet box and cables, just something small that could store various trinkets. Finally, I'm going to Zone D, which is my standing workspace. I have looked up standard dimensions of walking paths, and for the 146 centimeters I have available here, there are plenty of walking path models that could fit in. I'm just going to draw a sketch of the top view of a walking path. Over my walking path, there should be a tiny wall-mounted table. I don't think I can do any work walking. I have already tried this at the gym, but I find that I have a lot of ideas when I'm walking, so maybe I can dictate to a device, or perhaps I can watch something on the screen while I get my steps in. The only problem right now is that I do not have a socket here, so this will have to change. I also make a tiny sketch of myself walking on the path to help me visualize this whole thing better. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to draw a human figure lying down, just to kind of check the width of the sofa and to get a feeling of how comfortable this cozy reading corner could be. I'm just adding a few more notes on what these drawings could mean so I do not forget. I also want to draw the curtains, which are already installed. I need a bit of distance between the windows and the couch. Plus my radiators are also here. I will draw them later on, but for now I just need to remember not to place the sofa right next to the wall. And this is my floor plan so far. It's a rough sketch of how I see things right now. As I will continue to design it in elevation and 3D, things will very likely change, but this is where I am at this moment. In the following episode, I'll be sharing some complementary ideas about how to start your design project, and in the episodes after that, we'll be doing a bit more sketching, but we'll be looking at how these walls could look like and not just the floor plan. And if you want to see the rest of the playlist, you can also click here.